Okay, I got a box in the mail, and if this is what I think it is, I'm gonna take a look at some games today. Let's see. Okay, got some N64 games. Not in great shape, but that's why we buy them, because they're not in great shape. Let's see if they work. The boards don't seem to be cracked. They look horrible. Like horribly rusted. Look like they'll make for a good video. Okay, let's get a quick rundown. Let's see if they work. Oh my god. These games work. They said they were untested. Not working. Still gonna need a clean probably. Now my N64 is really dirty, and the pin connector isn't great, to be fair, and it read it really good. I mean, one shot, I don't remember it being this great. The game is working. Alright, next game. That one looks horrible. Oh, it looks like we got a winner. Alright, pull it up a little bit, leave it like halfway. No, not working, so this one we'll take a look at. Got another one, this one doesn't look great either. Oh, this one's working too? Come on, go. See if it gets into the game.
Welcome. One player, single race, full grid. Okay. Good choice. Nice wheel.
I'm just picking anything at this point. I just want to get into the race.
Welcome to Coventry Cove.
I remember having this game as a kid.
2, 1, go!
Looks like it's working. Okay. This one goes in that pile. Oh, and these games back here, these were all provided by Digital Press in Springfield. If I ever needed board swaps, he gave me boards to do swaps with. Alright, this game isn't really that big in desirability, but I will fix it just for the sake of the video if I can. It's the game that's in the best condition visually. It's one that doesn't work. Okay, I'm gonna have to take a look at that. So we got two working. They probably need to be cleaned, and then two non-working. Let's see, Who's in the World. Another game I had as a kid. So far, all these games I tested, I had all these games as a kid. That's crazy. Minus this one. I had NASCAR 99. I don't think I had this one, but I had all these games as a kid. That's crazy. Come on. Okay, looks like we have another winner. Okay, so another one in the non-working pile. And then lastly, yeah, I had all these games as a kid. That's crazy. Oh, and this one's working too. The one thing I didn't like about this game, I wish they had a stage select. A stage select when you beat the stage, so you can branch off into the different planets without having to do it in one shot. I never got to, I think I got to the Landmaster stages, but I never went to the submarine stages. Come on, let's go. This game was mind-blowing at the time. I think it was also packed in with the Rumble Pack, which is crazy to just get when you crash your plane and the controller vibrates. At the time, when I was, 6 years old when this came out, 7 years old,
This is Peppy.
I was blown away. Come on.
Flippy here. I'm okay.
Could have sworn you could skip
I see him
this.
up ahead. Let's rock and roll.
Yeah. I don't remember how to play, to be fair. Especially with just one hand. I remember you could do that.
Slippy, get back here.
Lock on target.
Slippy, watch out. Don't
Okay.
get on your tail.
That was a rush of nostalgia. Okay, so this one's working too. So we got 3 working and 3 non-working. Let's take a look at the non-working. Okay, let's take a look at my favorite game of the bunch, 007. It looks horrible. I know you can't, you could see that. See the pins. They look horrible. Let's open it up. But if I don't have to swap the board, I won't. Let's get a close up on these pins. Okay, so here's a close-up of the board. Now, they don't look great. Some of the pins look like they may be broken. Like in this area here. Looks like nasty. Up here looks nasty. Might be a break there. This larger pin has seen better days. The opposite side doesn't look as bad, but these pins are definitely dirty. Like, they look nasty. I don't know if the camera's picking them up. This pin doesn't go anywhere, so it's not really, I don't think that would cause the game not to run. But besides that pin, there are plenty other ones that are in horrible shape. So let me clean this board with some, believe it or not, I'm going to use some Brasso, because I'm going to polish, I want to polish these pins. Because I have extra boards. If I can't get this game to run, I could always swap the ROM onto a working board. But let me see what Brasso does first. Now, lots of people advocate not using Brasso, but with a cartridge like this, you have to get in there with a mild abrasive. Now, some people even use fine grit sandpaper to polish these, which is even more abrasive, or even a magic eraser is also an abrasive. The only thing that wouldn't be an abrasive is just 99% alcohol, but I don't think it would polish up what's on these pins. So I'm going to try. Now, like I said, I do have other boards that I can use after if this doesn't work. And now I'm just going to use, some people like to use Bright Boy. I'll just have Brasso because I don't know where to get Bright Boy, and I don't feel like ordering any. Now I'm really going to work these pins. A lot is coming off. Now this is a mild abrasive, and you wouldn't want to leave the residual on here, so I will come back with 99% alcohol and clean up all the residue. Now, Brasso is very powdery when it dries, and that's what you don't really want to get into your console. You don't want that powdery residual. Now, some people won't open up the cart and they'll just use Brasso. With the cart closed, they'll get in there, and all this wet Brasso will then dry up, and then that's not good. So as long, like in my personal experience, if you use Brasso, as long as you clean up with some 99% alcohol, the residue, it shouldn't harm anything. And a lot is coming off. Especially this pin that was, the copper is exposed heavily on this middle pin. I don't know if you can see that. Okay. Seems to be, I'm going to clean up the residual in a second. I just got to get both sides. Alright, and once you're done polishing, you want to come back with some alcohol and just top and just clean it off. Okay, now we give it a second to dry and we're gonna test it out. Now it's still a little wet. I'm gonna clean it some more off camera with some paper and we'll test it out. Got it like partially assembled. Let's test it out. No signal. Alright, so we continue on. So cleaning it didn't help. Let's check for breaks. Okay, so I was probing for continuity and I had no breaks, so I tried it again. I cleaned it again with some alcohol and it seems to be working now. So yeah, that board doesn't have any breaks, so I wish it did. I would be able to fix it, but it just needed to be really deep cleaned. But since that board is so horrible, I'm still gonna swap it. I just partially reassembled it. Hold on. If you don't reassemble these, more or less, they'll get hooked on these cartridge doors, and the cart won't come out. So yeah, I mean, it's clean. The contacts look good. Both sides, they look good. I mean, they're not good as new, but it is working. I could try it like this. The ROM goes towards the back. Now it's gonna get locked in there, watch. Yeah, it's working. Okay. So now, see, now I'm stuck. This is why you have to reassemble it. So I'm gonna swap the board just for the hell of it. Just to give, if I'm gonna sell these games, I want to make sure that the boards are good. Now the only reason why I'm doing this board swap is if this didn't have any corrosion or rust or like pins that were wearing down, if it was just a break, I would patch the break and leave it like it is. But since this has some spots of darkening of the pins, I don't want to risk having like right here, and some pins are like getting dark. I don't want to risk this breaking in the future, so I'm gonna swap the board. And the cart that I'm gonna use is this. So let me open it up. So right here you see 01A03. This is the 1A, the third revision, and this one is 1A, the second revision. They're compatible. You might also have to swap the CIC chip. I'm not sure. If I have to, I'm gonna try it without swapping the CIC. If I don't get anything, I will swap that. And if I want to retain the saves, I think I also have to swap this chip because this pertains to the save. I don't know if that's like a flash memory or FRAM chip, I'm not sure. Okay, first things first, I'm gonna reflow. At least I know that the game is working, so I really can't do any damage to it. Okay, and if I do have to replace, I'm gonna swap this chip too. Whatever save is on there, I want to see if I could preserve it. I never actually tried it. Hopefully it works. And then the CIC just in case I have to pull it off. Do the same for this cartridge. See if I can lock it in place. Alright. Okay, so we come in with the desoldering gun. And we start making noises at 4 o'clock in the morning. It was just, look, one hand that came off. I don't want to mark the GoldenEye cart. Let me mark the Pikachu cart, because this one I won't need. So I'm going to put... Okay, I don't know if it's with a C or a K. I could check. Yeah, it's a K. Good. Okay, let's take this one off. Okay, so here's the board. Everything is clean. No damage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this chip in. This is the GoldenEye chip. Flip it around. Make sure everything is still good. Let me see if I can just tack a couple of spots in place. I know you can't see that. Okay. I'm not using no force. The board is basically bouncing around. I'm letting the iron do all the work. The iron and solder technique do all the work. So yeah, that's that. I'm gonna check for continuity and check for bridges and blobs, such as that. Okay, with the thing soldered in, let's try it. Make sure it's straight. Okay, that's promising. It's noisy. Let me lower that. Seems like everything wants to make noise at 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay, there's no saves on here. Let me skip this. Skip that. Alright, it's been a while since I played this. Oh, this game is so nostalgic. Alright, it's working. Now, I'm gonna try. Let's see if I can pull this out. Of course I can't, it's stuck. I gotta use 2 hands to get that out. But I'm gonna also swap the small chip here. I think it's a save chip, I'm not sure. But I'm just gonna try it just to see what that chip does. If I remember correctly, it's like a flash memory or something like that. Alright, let's try this. It's close. I don't want to... Oh, there it is. Okay. So this is the Hey You Pikachu. Let me just mark that. Hey You Pikachu. Move that aside. Let's get this chip out. Ooh, my iron's off. I don't know why I shut it off. Okay, I got it. Alright, solder that in place. So here we go. We got a notch on the board here. I don't know if you could see. And then we have a notch on the chip. I don't know if you could see. Yeah, it's dark. I apologize. It's nighttime. There's no light shining through the window. It's just my overhead light. But it's supposed to be like that. So let's solder that. Okay. Okay, let's test it. Okay, I realized I made a mistake. I should have checked to see if there was saves already on this game before I did that. And now let's see if it worked. I mean, I don't know. Now to be fair, now I gotta put a save on here if there are none. Skip all this. Oh, go back. Okay, we got some saves. Go back. What about this folder? Okay, and this one. It seemed like all of them have. They probably were copied over, to be fair, because you're able to copy at the bottom. Yeah, so this guy only made it to Surface 1 or Surface 2. All right. So yeah, that little chip does pertain to saving. I'm glad that it worked. I mean, I'm not gonna play through this now. But yeah, that's one game. Let me reassemble it. So now we have a nice new copy. Theoretically, I can solder this chip back in. It would still work, but it's just in horrible shape. So I just put it all together in case someone needs something out of this. The ROM is still good if you ever need it. So yeah, we got a good copy. Now, the only things that I'm concerned about on this are just the metal housing. The metal housing is like rusted over, and it's not great to leave rusted, like rust on there, because it could transfer over. So I'm gonna just take this out. I am gonna keep the same housing. I'm not gonna swap this. I could easily swap the back with the Hey You Pikachu back and it's in better shape. But no, I'm gonna not try to hide the condition of this cartridge. Now the board is in better condition than the outside, but when someone buys this game, they're gonna base it off the condition of the exterior, even though the interior is gonna last forever in a condition like this. But based on the outside, I'm not trying to do any foolery or trickery. I just want to make sure that the cartridge lasts a little longer than normal. So I will keep these two. I will swap this because it's dirty, and I will use the Hey You Pikachu, just metal housing, but not the back. The back and the other piece, everything else goes. All the old pieces and the shell, I'm gonna discard these off to the side. Okay, I do want to clean the inside of this a little bit. So off camera, I did clean up the cartridge a bit. I just wiped down the plastic areas with a paper towel and some alcohol, and then with a toothbrush, I cleaned on the inside of these little crevices. Now I didn't wipe the labels, and obviously you can see that even in the Nintendo logo, a lot of that didn't come off. But it still looks better than it was. And you can't, with alcohol and N64 labels, no matter, even if they're new, like decent condition, they will start to deteriorate. They used poor quality labels. It's not advised to alcohol on top of a label and clean it. If somebody markered over it, you might be able to dab it off if you're lucky. But in my experience, it's just best to just leave whatever the label, however the label is, just leave it. So that's just my tip there. Oh, on the inside, see, I used some alcohol. It's still a little wet, still drying up. But I cleaned the inside. They're a little better than how they were. Couldn't get them 100% like I wanted, but that'll do. Okay, to reassemble this board, it's pretty straightforward. This part is a little confusing. I think the smaller notch, wait, let me zoom in. The smaller notch on the edge, I think, goes towards the left. Yeah. So remember, the chips always face this way when you're reassembling. So you put this here. Come on, don't do this. Don't do this to me. And lay it in. This thing should seat flush. If you put it the other way around, it's not gonna sit right. So then you put this over here, and it should snap into place. Now you need the Phillips screws. Now remember, this board was missing a Phillips head screw. Let me cover this so we can get the light out of the shot. So there we go. Let me get these in. And that's that. It's in so much better shape. So yeah, let's try it one more time. Okay, here's the cartridge. Fires up really well. And that's that. That's cartridge number 1. Okay, here's cartridge number 2. This one isn't really worth much money, so it's no point in doing a board swap. So I'm hoping that I could just clean it up and it'll be working. Or maybe even a bodge. If I have one break, I'll fix the break. But I'm not gonna waste too much time trying to fix this with a board swap. Okay. Oh yeah. Either this is just dirty and needs to be cleaned, or the ROM is dead. Because there's no way this doesn't fire up. I doubt that this is almost clean. I mean, it's just a little dirt on it. Let me see if I can zoom in. You won't be able to see it that well. Oh, there you go. You could see how it has like a film on the cartridge, on the contacts. That's no good. And then this side too. You can see it. Now I could probably clean that with some alcohol, but I want to shine them up with some Brasso. Just a little bit. I know it looks like a lot, but remember, that's the head of a Q-tip. It's not really a lot. Ready? I don't go into the top of the solder mask. I just want the pins. And since this one is relatively good shape, like the contacts, they're not too bad, I'm not going to apply too much force. I just want to scrub them. Scrub the dirt off. Yeah, there's some dirt coming up. And then I'll wipe away all the residue. Okay, it did minimal damage. Let me clean that with some alcohol, because even though it looks pretty clean, after about 20 minutes you'll start to see the trail of residue from the Brasso. So I'll take some paper. With the game partially assembled, let's try it. And it works. This game didn't look too bad. It just needed to be cleaned up.
Gentlemen.
It just gets into the game just like that, huh?
And the race is on.
No fanfare, nothing. Yeah, I can't play with one hand. Okay, well, that one works. Let me close that up. Okay, so here's Cruising the World. Cart number 3 for the record. This one also didn't work for the record. Maybe there's a broken trace. Yeah, this board doesn't look too bad. Just initially looking at it. Maybe it just needs to be cleaned. Let me see. Now the daylight is coming out, so the shot might be a little better now. These pins look pretty good. They are dirty. I'm not gonna use Brasso this time. I'm gonna just clean it with some alcohol. See if I can shine these up a little bit with some alcohol. I don't think there's anything wrong with this cartridge. It's just dirty. Let me clean it with some alcohol. Alright, spray some on there. Did get some dirt off. Okay, that's as good as I'm gonna get them. Just redo this side a little bit. They look good now. They didn't look too bad to start. Let's try it. Got it set up, just temporary. Put it in. Yeah, these games work. I wish they had some brakes or something more elaborate. Unfortunately, that's why it's been getting harder and harder to come by broken stuff on eBay for a fair price, because everybody wants like top dollar for their stuff, so it's hard to get, you know, deals that are worth it. And then when you do come upon something, you never really know if it's gonna work or not, if it's truly broken. So yeah, I'm sorry that this video might not be the most interesting. Yeah, this game is working. Let me clean up the cartridge a bit, and then I'll get back to you with the next game. So I cleaned the game a little bit off screen. It's in better shape now. And it works. Now as for these 3 games, they all work. They just, you know, they have to be cleaned on the outside, and I'll clean the contacts on the inside as well. And hopefully I don't have to do it much after that. If the boards are in terrible shape, I'll do a board swap and I'll come back to you. But if not, that means they all were in pretty decent shape and there was nothing other than cleaning left to be done. Okay, I know this video wasn't that great. You never really know what you're gonna get when you order stuff off eBay. Sometimes you're thinking it's gonna come out to a more elaborate fix, something more interesting of a repair, and all they need is some cleaning and a few board swaps. So these 5 cartridges that I had here to use for board swaps, I didn't really need them. The only 2 I used were these 2, and the board is still working. It was just in bad shape. So if my buddy wants to reuse these boards, he can, because they are technically still working. They're just a little corroded. And these we can run down real quick. Let's go. Let's see how they fire up. So yeah, see, I'm just gonna try to do this quickly. And yeah, the game is running. So let's swap it out. This one also works.
Adventure Racing! Welcome!
Yep, that one's working. So let's do it. Now I did do a board swap on the Star Fox cartridge. It was in similar condition to the GoldenEye cart, so I couldn't just leave it like that. So I did do that off camera. Come on.
It's about time you showed up, Fox.
Okay. Come on. Trying to skip through this really quickly. That one's working. Keep in mind, my N64 isn't in the greatest shape. The pin connector does need cleaning, but these games are in spectacular shape, so they fire up really off the first try every time. Okay. And last, the N64 was so great that it didn't have any loading times. So that was that. So 6 working games.